What is up? What is going on? Glad to see you guys. And if you enjoyed Smackdown last night, then I would like to give y'all my 2 cents on Smackdown. We had Damian Priest and LA Knight start off in a promo. Now, Damian Priest and LA Knight, they are both gunning for the U.S. Championship. So they had themselves a little one-on-one match. Priest was the reason why Drew won the number one contenders match last week. But this match ends in a DQ because Fatu and Solo want to get involved. Now, I know this sets up, what happens later in the night. But I would really, really like for, we could have just made the match without it being a DQ. We could have had an actual winner instead of it being ending in a DQ. But that's neither here or there. Fraxium is climbing up the ranks in the SmackDown, tag team division. They beat, who was it? I forget who they beat last week. They beat, I think it was Legado del Fantasma. It might have been. But they beat Pretty Deadly in, normal exhibition match. And here's my thing with Fraxium. I think that Fraxium could really have been utilized on Monday Night Raw. My bad. I'm having a bit of a fucking brain fart. But they could have really been used on Monday Night Raw. They are so good. And for people that don't know Fraxium all like that, you could have just honestly looked up NXT. Look up NXT the past year. Fraxium is on every single event from NXT. And them going after Pretty Deadly and, showing why they deserve to be on SmackDown and the main rosters. They are fast. They are quick. They are very, very agile. And so I love Fraxium. Fraxium will literally be my favorite tag team of all time. Of all time. When it's all said and done, they will be one of the best tag teams in the foreseeable future. And they should have been on Monday Night Raw. Because, honestly, with that triple threat TLC that happened last week, which everybody says should have been on a Mania card, guess what? They should have. But if you add Fraxium to a TLC match, 5-star chef's kiss right there. But they beat Pretty Deadly. I don't see them losing anytime soon until they go up against the likes of the Street Profits. I see them going against Motor City Machine Guns just to give them that good rub from a good tag team. But pretty decent match. Nothing too exciting. And then we get a promo out of Nia Jax. And before she can even say anything, Tiffany Stratton interrupts her. Tiffany Stratton's like, hey, you're going to annihilate me, this and that and this. And then she's like, hey, I already beat Charlotte Flair. I beat one of the best women in the WWE right now. A person that's hold double-digit world titles herself. I can beat you. And then Naomi comes out. And Naomi is pretty much saying a whole lot of nothing until Jade comes out. And then this sets up the main event of, a tag team match between Jade and Tiffany Stratton versus Naomi and Nia Jax. And I do like this because there's 3 more opponents for her to have. Now, Nia Jax and Jade Cargill have a number one contenders match next week, which I will be attending, by the way. And I honestly don't know who's going to win that. I think it honestly should be Nia Jax. Like, no shade towards Jade Cargill. But Nia Jax, she never was cleanly beat by Tiffany Stratton. She was beat via cash-in. They didn't have some 10, 15-minute exhibition match. No, she cashed in on her. So, we should run that back. They should have ran that back at Elimination Chamber, but I guess they wanted Trish Stratton. Not Trish Stratton. Oh my God. I am being a fucking dumbass. Trish Stratus to run it back. Now, technically, you could have called the tag team Trish Stratton if you really wanted to. But they definitely could have ran that back at the Elimination Chamber instead of waiting till after Mania. You know, then we could have had Tiffany versus Jade Cargill. We could have had her versus Naomi. It could have been a triple threat match. And they could have done the same thing like they did with Io, Bianca, and Rhea, where they look at Tiffany as an afterthought because Jade and Naomi's beef is so big. And that is something you could have done with that because they formally hate each other. So, there's that. Aleister Black versus The Miz. Now, I was very concerned how this match was going to go when Carmelo Hayes came out with The Miz. I did not think that Carmelo Hayes should have been out there. But guess what? Guess what? I think this is setting up Aleister Black versus Carmelo Hayes next week. I'm not really sure. They didn't announce it. But I think that match is going to cook. And it's a hell of a rub for Carmelo Hayes and for Aleister Black, because Aleister Black going against somebody who's the future of the WWE, in my opinion, along with Braun Breaker, Ilya Dragunov, Trick Williams, Oba Femi, Javon, those types of guys. But Aleister Black, can I just glaze for a little minute? Black Mass is the best finisher of all time. Stone Cold Stunner, definitely it's for the fan pop. The Attitude Adjustment for the fan pop. The People's Elbow for the fan pop. The Rock Bottom for the fan pop. 619 fan pop. I don't care. Black Mass is the best finisher in the WWE. Argue with the wall. Aleister Black hits 2 Black Masses on The Miz. That way, he can pull off the victory. And then we get a stare down from Aleister Black and Carmelo Hayes. I really like that. And I want to see this match. They better have Carmelo Hayes versus Aleister Black at Smackdown next week in Dayton. Then we had a little bit of a backstage segment. Earlier, I think it was, before Aleister Black versus The Miz, Chelsea Green wanted her rematch. And Nick Aldis wasn't having none of that. He said, but Piper Niven is going against Zelina Vega, the new United States champion. And we got Piper Niven versus Zelina Vega. Now, with that being said, I did like the match. Piper Niven is very underrated, and I think she should eventually become U.S. champion. I think, honestly, SmackDown has more people in title phrase than Raw. Because with Raw, it is 1, 2, 3 people max. SmackDown, let's see. Tag team champions. You got the Street Profits, Motor City Machine Guns, DIY. You got Fraction. You got Pretty Deadly. You got Mellow Don't Miss. Tag team division on Raw. You had Judgment Day hold the belts for 6 months, 3 title defenses. Meanwhile, on SmackDown, they're defending their title once a month, twice a month, changing hands at that. And then Lyra Valkyria She never really got a proper storyline. What she got was Dakota Kai. Love Dakota Kai. She got Ivy Nile, and she got Raquel Rodriguez. And then Becky comes back, and they give her an actual storyline with Becky Lynch, which is crazy. It's wild. But Chelsea Green ended up getting, let's see, Michin, B-Fab. That's at least something. And then now, Alba Fire and Piper Niven can say, forget you. They're both going on their own way. And then we can add Michin. We can add B-Fab. We can add a couple of different people. I wish Elektra Lopez was still there. She could have went for the title. Roxanne Perez. I think we can add her to the Intercontinental Championship fray. But that's neither here or there. But Piper Niven ends up losing via roll-up from Zelina Vega. And I really like that they made Zelina Vega win. I'm glad they didn't make her get jumped. I'm glad there was no DQ shenanigans. I like that Zelina Vega won. And then we get another backstage segment. We have Nick Aldis with Solo and Jacob. And Solo is pretty much being told by Nick Aldis that you guys need to stop. You guys keep doing this. So, with you guys causing DQ finishes and attacking all these men, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and LA Knight, Jacob's going to defend his belt against LA Knight and Priest in a triple threat. Now, Solo's that friend, right? You guys ever had a friend where they sit there and they'll say something and it makes the situation 10 times worse? Because it's already bad enough Fatu got to sit there and defend his belt in a triple threat match. Yet alone, then he goes, oh, well, Drew McIntyre won the number one contenders match. Why doesn't Drew McIntyre end up being in a match just with Jacob? And Nick Aldis was like, oh, great idea. Scratch that triple threat match. It is now a fatal four-way. Add Drew McIntyre to it. Like I said, he's that boy where he shouldn't say something because it's going to make the situation worse. Jacob, all gas, no brakes, ends up saying, hey, screw it. Don't matter who it is. And I like that out of Fatu. But when Fatu walks away, Solo says, man, you're screwing Jacob. Nick Aldis said, no, you're screwing Jacob. They're setting the plot. They're planting the seeds for Solo to turn on Jacob because Jacob's getting everything that Solo wanted. Hey, I can't wait. Let me know. Let me know when y'all think it's going to happen. Randy Orton's promo on John Cena, pretty much discussing what happened last week, pretty much saying he's not going to let it happen over his, cold, dead body. Hey, Randy Orton, I really do like Randy Orton on the mic, but I feel like we're getting to a point now where I know Cena's kind of a part-timer now. I understand that. I get that 100%. But Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes are doing something where they have to carry a feud. And when they carry a feud, right, they have to do it by themselves because Cena's not there. That's crazy. And it's crazy that they only had to have select events. If Cena was not going to be able to be there full time for the rivalries and the feuds that he's supposed to have, and he only has 20-something dates left, I think he should have 24 or 25 dates left. Because Raw after Mania, which was last week, he was saying 27. He showed up on Smackdown, that's 26. Next week on Smackdown is going to be 25. So therefore, we got 25 more dates after next week. 24, 25. why do they need Randy and Cody to carry these feuds? That's really where I have an issue. You know, it's John Cena. It's his last year. He should be here full time, not filming movies, not filming TV shows, not commercials. He needs to be here full time. But his schedule, I get it. He's more in the Hollywood scene now versus WWE. But if it's your retirement tour, dude, you need to be on tour. Let me ask y'all this. If Beyonce said she was going on tour and she only showed up in the major cities, so like London or Queens, New York, or Dallas, Texas, Houston, Texas, Detroit, Michigan, you know, the big places, Chicago, Illinois, you know, Los Angeles, California. She only showed up to the big places. Wouldn't you think that's a scam? And wouldn't you think her showing up twice at her own, you know, tour is crazy? Yeah, me too. John Cena should have waited until next year to do his retirement tour, and I get it. You know, this year they really needed more, and especially with the ticket sales being low for Elimination Chamber, which I think that's crazy for them to admit that. They needed views. They needed people to be invested. They needed all of that. So it's really crazy to me that Orton and Cody had to pretty much carry their feud with John Cena. Because Randy really said pretty much everything we already kind of know. There was nothing new to it. There was nothing really of value to add to it. But hey. Then we had Rey Fenix versus Rey Fenix. I say Phoenix. I think it's Phoenix though. Versus Santos Escobar. Now this was not as good as his match against Berto. I'm gonna throw that out there. I was hoping that Santos Escobar was going to be 90 times better than Berto. Because here's my thing with Legado del Fantasma. Santos is supposed to be the top guy in the group, right? Berto has all the talent. He's had talent since the pandemic days. I don't know if people realize how long Berto has been in WWE. He's been in WWE for about, 5 years, 6 years now? He's not bad. Now, when he was in Legado del Fantasma, I was like, man, they're going to nerf him because Santos is there. I thought Santos was going to be a Wesley in this match. You know, it's luchador against luchador. Now, Santos isn't your typical luchador wearing a mask, but Santos wanted Rey Fenix to understand that Rey Mysterio chose you to take his place at WrestleMania. You let him down against some American in a mask. He was disrespecting us. You lost to him. Hey, you're disrespecting us by losing to him. And so that sets up this match. I'm not gonna lie. Rey Fenix is better than Penta. Rey Fenix, he should be the one saying Cero Miedo, because it looked like he ain't got no fear. Walking on that top rope like it's a tightrope, I would have busted my damn head doing that. But Rey Fenix ends up coming out with the win, which I really like that, because technically he would have never been let me say this. He would have never been defeated if Rey never got injured. That's just what I want to say. He would still be undefeated if he didn't get injured. But he wins, no doubt. And then we had Tiffany Stratton and Jade Cargill versus Naomi and Nia Jax. Main event. Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill win. But here's my thing, though. I feel like this is setting up a fatal four-way of some sort. Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax next week for the #1 contender for the title. I personally think, right, and this is just my prediction, that with the way tonight ended, because Nia Jax took out Naomi too in the middle of this match. She took out Naomi for tagging herself in 5 minutes earlier before. So, when I believe that the #1 contenders, I think that Jade Cargill gets attacked by Naomi, and then Tiffany Stratton attacks Nia, and this sets up a fatal 4-way. That's what I think happens. I think a fatal 4-way happens. Or it could just be Nia Jax and Naomi attacks Jade, and that's it. I don't know. But in my opinion, this is setting up a fatal 4-way in my opinion. So let me know if I'm wrong about that. And also let me know if y'all like SmackDown tonight. I will see y'all in my next video.